Welcome back. Today is March 17, 2026. There's a lot of news to process today. Take a breath. We're going to look at the signals together and find the what you need to know. We're starting with something that feels heavy because it affects the very foundation of how the world keeps the peace. Right now, there is a deep fracture in the NATO alliance. President Trump has been calling for a naval coalition to secure the Strait of Hormuz, but major allies like France and Germany are saying no. They're worried that joining in will only make things worse, and France has even said they won't move their ships until things calm down. Think about this for a second. If our closest friends are pulling back, it leaves American sailors standing on the front line of a high-risk theater with very little company. This isolation isn't just a political headache, it increases the chance of a direct, unsupported fight with Iran. And the tension isn't just happening over there. Inside our own government, we're seeing a leadership vacuum. Joe Kent, a top counterterrorism official, just resigned in protest. He's sounding the alarm, saying that Israeli strategy is driving American military decisions. When people at that level walk away during an active conflict, it means the very people supposed to keep us safe are at odds with the plan. It creates a ripple of uncertainty that travels all the way from the Situation Room to the families waiting for news at home. This isn't just about strategy, it's about the reality of what happens when the bombs start falling. Israeli strikes recently killed two of Iran's top leaders, including their security chief and the commander of the basage. While some might see this as a tactical win, the human ripple is much more complicated. By taking out these leaders, we've essentially closed the door on any diplomatic exits. We are now locked in a cycle where both sides feel they have to keep swinging. And we're seeing the cost of that in the hospital wards. The Pentagon is reporting that around 200 American service members have been wounded so far. We're talking about severe burns, shrapnel wounds, and traumatic brain injuries from drone strikes across 7 different countries. Here's why this matters at your dinner table tonight. When those casualty counts rise, the pressure builds for a full-scale ground invasion. It is no longer a distant conflict when your neighbor's son or daughter is the one coming home with life-altering injuries. It's a weight that whole communities have to carry together, and because we live in a world where everything is connected, what happens in the Middle East is showing up on your receipt at the grocery store. The Strait of Hormuz is essentially paralyzed. Iran is restricting passage to ships aligned with the US, forcing global shipping to take the long way around Africa. That adds weeks to travel and massive surcharges to every single container. On top of that, diesel has surged past $5 a gallon, the highest we have seen in years. Think about how many things you use today that were delivered by a truck or a train, almost everything. When diesel goes up, the price of milk, bread, and medicine goes up with it. It's a hidden tax on every single American family. Even the Federal Reserve is feeling the shock. They were hoping to lower interest rates soon to make mortgages and car loans cheaper, but this war-driven inflation is making that almost impossible. The human ripple here is a feeling of being stuck with high debt, stuck with high prices, and wondering when the paycheck will finally catch up to the cost of living. While we're managing these global shocks, our own internal infrastructure is showing signs of strain. Because of a partial government shutdown, TSA workers aren't getting paid. We're already seeing security checkpoints close in cities like Philadelphia, and there's a real fear that smaller regional airports might have to shut down entirely. It's not just about a missed vacation, it's about the safety of our skies and the ability of people to travel for work or family emergencies. At the same time, the Postmaster General is warning that the Postal Service could run out of cash by next year. Think about the elderly veteran who gets their medication through the mail, or the rural small business owner who relies on the post office to reach their customers. If the USPS collapses, it's the most vulnerable among us who lose their lifeline. And just across the water, Cuba's entire electrical grid has collapsed. Millions are in the dark without food or fuel. This kind of instability so close to home creates a ripple of desperation that could lead to a massive migration crisis on Florida's shores. It reminds us that we aren't just an island, we are part of a fragile ecosystem where one neighbor's crisis quickly becomes our own. We also need to talk about the trust we have in our institutions, which is being tested on several fronts. In the Senate, there's a massive debate over the Save America Act. It's a bill that would require proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections. No matter where you stand on it, the ripple effect is a fundamental shift in how we approach the ballot box. It's changing the rules of the game just as we head into the next election cycles, and it highlights just how divided we are on the very basics of democracy. Then there's the legal battle over our health. A federal judge just blocked the administration's attempt to overhaul childhood vaccine policies led by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. This isn't just a courtroom drama, it's a fight over who gets to decide what's safe for our children. It leaves parents caught in the middle of a political war over medical science. And in another corner of the justice system, Attorney General Pam Bondi has been subpoenaed to testify about her handling of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. People are looking for accountability, wanting to know if political influence protected the powerful. When the people at the top of the legal system are under the microscope, it makes the rest of us wonder if the scales of justice are truly balanced for everyone. Finally, we have to look at the shifts happening in the wider world that will define the next decade. There's a terrifying escalation between Pakistan and Afghanistan. A Pakistani strike on a Kabul hospital reportedly killed 400 people. These are two nations with nuclear capabilities, and seeing them move from uneasy neighbors to active enemies creates a massive security vacuum in Central Asia. It's a reminder of how quickly the world can change when old alliances crumble. But even as we watch these physical conflicts, a new kind of power is being consolidated in the digital world. NVIDIA has just launched a coalition to develop agentic AI. This is artificial intelligence that doesn't just answer questions, it acts on its own. The entity that controls this technology will essentially hold the keys to the future of the global economy and national defense. The human ripple here is a sense of losing control, wondering if we are building tools that will eventually make decisions for us without our input. It's a lot to hold in one day, and it's okay to feel the weight of it. The news was heavy, but you are not carrying it alone. Stay connected. Stay present. We are right here with you. See you in the next brief.